Hi everyone. In this video, we will learn how to identify or remember the function of a drug using its suffix. Here, I have mentioned few shortcuts for easy identification. Because for most of the biology-based competitive exams, we can expect such kind of questions. They may ask the function of any drug by giving four drug name as option. So this video will at least help you in eliminating the options by referring to the suffix of each drug. So here I have mentioned suffixes of few drugs, for example, prazole. So any drug which ends with the suffix prazole is used as proton pump inhibitors, for example, omeprazole or lansoprazole. So they are actually used to treat peptic ulcers by decreasing gastric acid secretion in stomach. So there is no need to memorize all the drug names and dysfunction because it will be more confusing. There are many drugs also, so you can't memorize everything. So the only thing you have to remember here is the suffix and its key functional term. So next is Pril. Any drugs Pril are used as ACE inhibitors, that is angiotensin converting enzyme inhibitors. Next is Gilin, for example, Seligilin. So they are monoamine oxidase B inhibitors. They are used to treat the Parkinson's disease. So here I'm not explaining the whole mechanism of action of drug. I'm just explaining how to identify the function of a drug using its suffix alone. So next is a statin, for example, lovastatin or fluvastatin. So any drug which ends with the suffix statin or used as HMG-CoA reductase inhibitors. So they will help in decreasing the low density lipoprotein in blood. And next is gravis. So any drug which ends with the suffix gravis or used as integrase inhibitors. So they will inhibit the integration of viral DNA with the host DNA. Next is capone, COMT inhibitors, catechol or methyltransferase inhibitors. They used to inhibit the peripheral metabolism. And next is AFL. Any drug which ends with the suffix AFL is used as phosphodiesterase type 5 inhibitors. That is, this will prevent the inactivation of secondary messengers. And next is zolamide, for example, acetozolamide. So they will reduce the activity of carbonic anhydrase. So this enzyme is used for catalyzing carbohydrate and water into carbonic acid and bicarbonate. So next is azozine. For example, doxazozine or prazozine. So they are alpha blockers. So they are used to relaxing the blood vessels. So they are used for the treatment of high blood pressure. So any drug which ends with the suffix azozine or alpha blockers, and OL. So any drug which ends with the suffix OL or beta blockers, they are used to lower the blood pressure. So for example, atenolol and metoprolol. So such drugs which ends with OL suffix or beta blockers. Next is sartan. They are also used in the treatment of high blood pressure. They are angiotensin receptor blockers, for example, losartan. And IUM, they are used as neuromuscular blockers. They will interrupt the transmission of nerve muscles. For example, benzyltropinium and atracurium. So any drug which ends with the suffix IUM or neuromuscular blockers. Next is PINE, PINE, which are calcium channel blockers. So these are the blockers. All these drugs are blockers. Drugs which ends with those suffixes are blockers, alpha blocker, beta blocker. And DINE, they are histamine blockers. They are used as anti-ulcer agents. And next, anything which ends with SONE or LONE or steroids. And next is cane, for example, cocaine. They are local anesthetics. And DONE, they are opioid analgesics. For example, methadone or oxycodone. So, and VIR, any drug which ends with VIR or antiviral agents. Next is MAB, monoclonal antibodies. So any drug which ends in MAB or monoclonal antibodies, they're produced from monoclonal antibodies. For example, infliximab, rituximab, or trastuzumab. So those are the examples. There are many examples, but I have mentioned only few examples here. And um, these are the drugs which are made up of molecules of antibodies which are made up of domains from different species. So next is XIMAB, which are chimeric. XI represents chimeric human mouse, and ZUMAB, ZU represents humanized mouse, and MUMAB, MU represents fully human mouse. So they are engineered monoclonal antibody drugs. So they will stimulate the immune system to attack those foreign cells. So the drug which is having this XIMAB suffix is for chimeric humanized mouse, and the ZTUMAB is for humanized mouse, and MUMAB is for fully human. Then IB, which ends with IB or small molecule with inhibitory properties. So if it is TINIB means it is tyrosine kinase inhibitors, and ZOMIB means it is proteasome inhibitors, and CLIB means cyclin dependent kinase inhibitor, and PARIB, which is PARIB is poly ADP ribose polymerase inhibitors. So using the suffixes, we can easily identify the function of drugs. Next is protein synthesis inhibitors. So there are many antibiotics and protein synthesis inhibitor drugs are available. So here I have classified this protein synthesis drugs into two categories, which is 30S inhibitors and 50S inhibitors. That is, the particular drug will act on the 30S ribosome and uninhibits the translation. So here you have to remember is at LCOMS. So AT is for 30S inhibitors and LCOMS is for 50S inhibitors. So in AT, A stands for aminoglycosides and T for tetracycline. So these two drugs are used for the used in inhibiting the protein synthesis by binding to the 30S ribosomal subunit. And LCOMS, E stands for erythromycin, and L for lincosamides, and L for linezolid, chloramphenicol, oxazolidiones, macrolides, streptogramins. So lincosamide is also called clindamycin. So that this at LCOMS is used to remember all those 30S inhibitors and 50S inhibitors. Here I mentioned only few drug names, but there are many 30S and 50S inhibitors, but the most important drugs are I have mentioned the most important drugs. So this is how we have remember all the drug names using its suffix. So thanks for watching. If you like this video, share with your friends, like and subscribe my channel. So in future I will be uploading videos in Tamil as well for better understanding. Thank you.